Ladies and gentlemen, listen, it's my birthday weekend. So I haven't gone to sleep yet, and I'm straight out the club, so I'm a little lit, but I had to cover this. I waited to cover it till Nas responded. If you don't know what's been going on, if you've been sleeping under a rock, Jim Jones been going on a whole campaign about how he's better than Nas, how he could rap better than Nas, and I was just waiting in the cut. I was waiting in the rafters like Sting. And then Nas himself, Nasir Jones' godson himself, has finally responded. Let's get to it. Shout out to Chick Smooth. Let's go.
Chicks.
Let's go.
Get ready. You know what
I'm already warning you, I'm kind of lit, but it don't matter. It's my birthday weekend. Shout out to everybody who made this last year one of the greatest, if not the greatest year of my life. Thank you guys so much.
Salute
to Chick Smooth.
Hey, Chick Smooth. Appreciate all the coverage that you've been doing. I've been watching your shit for a while. I just subscribed to your shit too, bro.
It's officially over, you guys. Hey, referee, hit that bell. Stop the count. It's over. We're done. There should be no more conversations to be had after this. Now, over the last 2 weeks, Jim Jones has...
Don't forget who created Ether. Huh? Ether is the original Not Like Us. I'll say it. Ether hit so crazy it ended up in the English dictionary, in the Webster's dictionary. This dude changed not just culture but dialect. Come on.
Has been going on a campaign against Nas.
smoking when you say you better than Nas?
I might have been a little. Well, as far as let's get this right. I'm way more influential than Nas, and I don't care what nobody say. I know I made it. I know I made a little boo boo when you talk about the sales and all this type of shit.
By the way, if you didn't know, Jim Jones tried to say he had more Billboard entries than Nas. He had more sales than Nas. Lie detector determined that was a lie. I don't know why Jim Jones ever thought that. Jim Jones not even the most influential person in Dipset. So to think that you're more influential than Nasir, huh? Wisdom is vital for the survival of the street disciple. Okay, I'm just telling you. I don't know what he was on, but pass that over here.
I don't feel like getting into that rhetoric about where I started and where he started.
Well, you said that,
but listen, Nas was nice when I was in high school. When I was in 10th grade, Nas came out. Nas was dope. Nice. We appreciated him. He had a little bit run. But Nas always came up second to Jay and DMX and all these other people. Like,
ain't no shame in that. There a lot of folks came up second to Tom Brady.
He never had that type of influence on us, except for his first album. I already told you. I used to want to dress like Nas because he had a lot of fresh clothes that the hustlers used to wear and shit. And we used to see him on TV. He had one of the illest albums of all time. And then...
How you going to say he never influenced us like that? And then say his first album influenced you like that? And... that you wanted to be like him when Illmatic dropped. So you saying he don't influence like that because of his other albums didn't influence you like that? It don't matter. If a rapper has one project that you wanted to copy and be like, then the influential argument, because let's put it like this. I don't know if you've dropped an album that Nas wanted to be like, but you yourself admitted that Nas dropped the album that you wanted to be like. So the influential argument is kind of now cooked because it's like, by your own words, he's influenced you more than you've influenced him. I'm just saying. So, and we talking about Nas. We're gonna talk more about it, but I don't know what he's talking. Jones is wilding, and I'll say this: as a rapper, you're supposed to think you the best, you the greatest. You're supposed to think can't nobody touch you. But I'm gonna keep it tall. You can believe whatever you want. You can say whatever you want. But understand that the people, the community, will come. And they will make sure to fact check what you're saying. So, factually, with the Billboard entries and the sales, no. And the money, no. You ain't even in the same stratosphere as Nasir Jones, the street's disciple, Godson himself. Woke up this morning, you got yourself
in high school when he had the barbecue and shit like that. So I'm a real fan of Nas, but he kind of lost me after the movie Belly and shit like that. Like, I don't.
Man, go ahead on with that, Jim.
I'm trying to tell you, I'm being honest. You ask me, I'm being a fan. I'm telling you, from the movie Belly was fire, but after that, he kind of lost me. I think we was way too much into the game. Remember how this goes? You ever heard of a Kofy list?
Yeah.
Yo, go back and.
Shannon Sharp ain't never heard about the Kofy list. Later on, he goes on to say he didn't really. Shannon Sharp don't really know what he talking about in this, but he happened to be right with what he's saying with Nas. The Kofy list, if you don't know, Jim Jones came out before Nas and Jim Jones and Dipset were beefing, and the Kofy list is he was saying the list of people he smacked their Kofy off. Kofy's like a hat. So I smack your Kofy off, and the Kofy is like they like to tie that to like some real oh, you kicking that science, Kareem. Oh, we're trying to hear that, Sharif. They tie that to like basically saying that somebody who's wearing a Kofy was like the original way of saying like, oh, you're too woke, basically.
Into your history and find out what happened between us and him. You dig? And I'm not trying to repeat history, but don't play with us when it comes to that, bro. We already went wild on them boys. You heard? We the ones that went wild on them boys. You heard?
Hey, Jim.
And people out here acting like I said I'm gonna bring the Kofy list back. I just told you I'm a changed man. Stephen Law, you dig?
I
got a question. Stick up for itself and meet me in a booth for something if we want to do something historical.
Nas say he don't do that no more. Nas say he don't do that
because he got $100 million. He's a very wealthy man. You heard? He's a very smart businessman. He called a couple business flicks.
Hold on.
And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, man. This is how you know Jim Jones is an elite level troll. A few days ago, he went on Backfield podcast, salute to Backfield, and he doubled down. He goes on to then say, hey, I'm the reason why everybody's talking about him right now. As a matter of fact, it's been decades since somebody talked about him like this. I made him go viral.
Now, I understand that this is the thing that I'm going to just say. I'm tired of this. And another thing we're going to stop doing is we're going to stop acting like the young people. We're going to stop acting like people my age and younger are the problem with social media. We're going to stop acting like we are the example of what's wrong, because I'm going to keep it tall. There's a lot of OGs, there's a lot of old people, there's a lot of people who've been around a long time who act way more goofy. And I'm not even trying to disrespect Jones at all. If y'all know, if you're a hip-hop fan, Jones plays a role in your life. Ballin', Dipset, all of that. But I'm saying, this is insanity what he's saying. And this whole like, oh, you know what I really was doing? I was really trolling to get my numbers up. Nas has never been this viral. I'm tired of that, bro. I'm tired of this. This whole like, oh, I'm just trolling to get the numbers. Remember, I said this in a different video. What has happened is troll has become a way for people to not stand on goofy things they do. And I'm not talking, I'm not trying to disrespect Jones. But if you're telling me a person your age who has white in their beard, who's telling me that they're basically throwing a Tekashi 6ix9ine strategy of trolling, anger, rage baiting then that for a person his age and a person who's supposed to be of his echelon in hip hop, for Jim Jones, that's a lame activity. You know what I mean? Oh, look at me. But that's always how people double back into some lame stuff and be like I said, I'm not trying to disrespect Jim Jones, but this behavior, I feel like if somebody else did this to Jones would say this was lame. You know what I mean? Like, we grew up listening to Jones, bro. So it's like, this just don't look real. But like, Nas is Nas, bro. No matter where you put Jones, you put Nas about 2 echelons higher than that. And Jones would do that.
Not him.
But I also am not mad at him for feeling like he's having that bravado as a rapper. That's what you're supposed to do. But sometimes when you jump out the window, you gotta make sure you have a parachute. And he jumped out, no parachute.
What I did for Nas probably never been done for him in his life. He's never been that viral at all.
Okay, he's definitely been more viral than this. Ether was more viral. Ether literally ended up in the dictionary. There's nothing you're gonna do here that's gonna end up in the dictionary. So
ever.
He's been more viral.
Ever. He's never been talked about like this ever in his life.
Absolutely has. He absolutely has.
Now, has Nas reached out to you?
What are you even talking about, John? You think right now Nas and you are being talked about more than when it was Jay-Z versus Nas than Ether? Is that what you're trying to say? Jim Jones don't believe what Jim Jones is saying right now. Like, what?
You did. The last time he was in some shit like this,
bro, he was more viral on Uchiwali than this.
But people were comparing when him and Jay was beating on.
Matter of fact, he more viral for the cop shot than this. He more viral when he broke up with Khalees than this. Like, what are y'all talking about? Like, him and Khalees's problems have been more viral than this. His last project was more viral than this.
Oops. Like, and I don't want to talk about other people's career, but let's just get to the semantics of it.
Since the whole Nas? Okay.
I don't know Nas to have a conversation with him. You don't have a conversation, we can have that too and shit like that. You dig? Like, I don't really care.
One thing I did see.
This is actually Soulja Boy level trolling right here. You say something outlandish, people call you out for it, and then you go on to take credit for going viral. It's genius marketing. But unfortunately for Jim Jones, Nas just dropped the ether again. This is how you quiet down all the noise. This is how you show there's levels to this.
The original boogeyman. Don't you ever forget. Jay-Z, I've said this and I keep saying this. When they're outside, Jay-Z my favorite rapper. And I had to say, this was the original book. That ether, yeah. Yeah.
And this is how you quiet down somebody like Jim Jones. Nas went on his Instagram to post a commercial for a casino. Now, this is not just any regular casino. This is a $5 billion casino in Queens that he's partnered with and also invested with, which pretty much is going to guarantee him generational wealth. And that's not including all his other investments.
The future is not something you wait for. It's something you build. It lives.
Y'all forget this was the original. Come on, though. Boogeyman back outside.
It's in the hands of the doers, the dreamers, the people who refuse to stand still. Resorts World is more than a casino.
Resorts
it's energy.
World.
It's opportunity. It's hope for the borough. A second chance for some, a first step for many. It's where community gathers. Not just to win, but to build a future.
If y'all don't know how big this is, bro, what a stunt. And someone like Jim Jones is somebody who respects numbers. Understand that. He's going to be somebody, if he has more numbers than you, he's 100% going to use that to flex on you. If you know how this started originally, Jim Jones tried to have the numbers argument. Then when he realized he was completely wrong and completely out his depth trying to battle somebody like Nas with numbers, he went straight to the, okay, but I rap better. And then Nas said, oh, you want to talk numbers? You started with the numbers. No, don't move the goalposts. Watch this. Boom!
Once imagine.
This is Kendrick Drake levels of a W. This is, oof.
This isn't just business. This is legacy. And now it's time. Time to invest in us. Because the future doesn't ask for permission. It moves with purpose.
Amen.
From our chairman to our newest employee, we're committed to Queens. And in Queens, the future
coming out of Queensbridge
is now.
Now, this casino is basically going to transform Queens, New York into Vegas. So, no, Jim Jones, Nas doesn't have time to argue about who's more viral, who's the better rapper. This is about real life and legacy.
And you want to know the most spooky thing about this? Nas has always been the better rapper than Jim Jones. Here's the spookiest part about this. Nas already beat Jim Jones in the rapping debate live from the barbecue. Already. Nobody from Jim Jones's own generation, before Jim Jones' generation, past beyond Jim Jones' generation, nobody would say Jim Jones raps better than Nas. And I understand the rapper bravado, but if Jim Jones is being all the way honest, he gonna probably tell you, nah, I can't mess with Nas when it comes to the technical ability. So here, he already beat you in that front. Now he beat you on the numbers game. That's why I said this dude was like the original Kendrick. I already beat you on the artistic, cultural, lyrical, technical, hip-hop side of it. You want to bring up numbers? Oh, you got more Billboard entries than me? You was already wrong about that, but watch this Resorts World. Huh? Yeah, watch how I drop this generational wealth on you. Huh? You tried it. And like I said, growing up, Jim Jones, for me and from people around me, was the epitome of cool. I ain't gonna lie to you. Dipset, Jim Jones, the epitome of cool. We started doing that rock star lifestyle stuff because Jim Jones dwells in them. We started doing them wallet check. Jim Jones dwells in them. But I'm going to keep it tall. There are whole classes of people who came from the Nas tree. You can't really say that there's Nas rapping is basically a genre of music. There's a lot of rappers when you look at them, you go, he came from the Nas class. Whether every lyricist has a piece of that Nas DNA in them. No freaky. You know what I mean? Jim Jones can't really say the same. Nas birthed a whole generation of rappers. If you ask the people like Jid, the J. Coles, the Joyner Lucases, I don't know why I'm saying people all J's. If you ask them and you ask them if Nas influenced them in any at all, they're gonna absolutely tell you. I'm telling you, absolutely. There ain't too many people if you ask. I don't think aesthetically. Did Jim Jones influence you? Yes, maybe, but not in the same way where Nas is. Nas is more akin to somebody like Rakim, where he created like a style. You know what I mean?
So if you're Jim Jones, you gotta feel crazy right now. You've gotta cancel all those podcast tours that you've booked already. You're trying to rap beef with a guy that's not thinking about you. Somebody that's out here building partnerships and also investing in stuff that's going to change the lives of people. Just like Nas said in his caption, let's build something legendary for the community.
Listen, I'm going to leave this right here. Y'all can watch the rest of this chick's video. There's about a minute of what he thinks. And like I said, hey, man, I was waiting for Nas to respond to this before I made a whole video, make 100 videos about it. But this is ether. And don't forget who invented that term, being ether. Jones.